This is music, and this is another batch of songs from the Pukebox. Welcome back to the Pukebox. This is just a What's Spinning series with a terrible title, based on a stupid pun. I know. But what I do in these videos is basically just I show and talk about some of the releases that I have been listening to over the last week or so. So yeah, a What's Spinning video. And this time I have five, technically six CDs to talk about that were all randomly pulled from my collection, and I've been listening to them over the last couple of days. Now, a while ago now, I was on a massive progressive music kick, which lasted a couple of years actually, and I would listen to anything prog, like, prog rock, psychedelic rock, jazz rock, progressive metal, progressive technical death metal, progressive technical thrash metal, progressive hard rock. And when I was on that kick, I discovered a lot of bands that I didn't really know before and that I got into. And one of those bands was Mastodon. This is Leviathan. And I've been listening to this over the last week or a couple of days at least. Now, this is one of their early output, and I prefer their early stuff to their more recent stuff simply because the early stuff is kind of more aggressive, more heavy. I, some people have described it as progressive sludge metal. Maybe that's the case. But what I like about this one is there are lots of really cool riffs, both like well-defined metal riffs and more sludgy riffs. You've got really harsh vocals. You have fantastic drumming, very organic and dynamic drumming. It's out of this world. But you also have like dissonant chords, strange harmonies, some odd time signatures every now and then, unusual song structures. So a good mix of, just heavy music, heavy uh, sludge metal. Let's just say that, and sort of progressive music. And it's perfectly balanced on this one and some of the other early output, in my opinion. This one has Blood and Thunder, which was their major hit, which starts out with that fantastic riff, and then it just turns into an awesome song. You got Iron Tusk on here too, which I think is a fantastic song, and Megalodon. All the songs are great, but those three songs click with me more than any other song on this album. And I think this is a great album. This might be a good gateway into harsher progressive music if you're looking to get into that. Fantastic album. I always enjoy listening to it. Up next, we got a twofer. So that's why we technically have six CDs, because this is Obituary, The End Complete, and Obituary, The World Demise. A double CD set. And this is interesting because it happens to be my favorite Obituary album and my least favorite Obituary album. So my favorite Obituary album, that is The End Complete. I think it's a strong album from beginning to end, no filler material, very, very heavy songs, kind of mid-paced and slow for the most part, with primitive riffs and that fuzzy guitar tone that characterizes Obituary's sound to this day. Awesome drumming. And some of the songs, like the title track, even they sound kind of big because of the drum sound, tone, production, whatever. Um, they do go into kind of like up-tempo death metal parts quite often on The End Complete, but we're talking old school death metal whenever they, you know, increase the tempo. So I think it's a fantastic album and one of my favorite death metal albums. And then World Demise, it's not a bad album. It actually has lots of really cool riffs and again, awesome drumming. Um, I don't know if it's just me, but there are some elements to World Demise, some of the riffs that kind of remind me of mid to late 90s hardcore, which I think is interesting. You also have that fuzzy guitar tone. The songs are quite slow and heavy on here, with some up-tempo stuff every now and then. But it's kind of, to me, it kind of, the album kind of peters out as you get more and more into the songs in the album. And yeah, it's, I don't know why, because when I listen to the songs individually, it doesn't have the same effect, but listening to the entire album, it just, I don't know why it kind of peters out. There's lots of great songs on here, lots of really awesome riffs as well. But maybe, at least to me, it's just one of those albums that work better, again, in my perspective, if I listen to it, one song at a time. But it's still a very good album. It's not bad at all. And you probably can't see it here, but the cover artwork on World Demise, I think, is fantastic. That might be maybe in the top whatever favorite obituary cover art pieces or whatever. But there you go. Uh, the Incomplete and World Demise, two obituary albums for the price of one. Doesn't get any better than that. And then we have this one here, Morbid Visions by Sepultura. This one also has Bestial Devastation on it. And yeah, the style on here is kind of very inspired by Teutonic thrash metal. And you also have like some very early death metal elements on here. I actually quite like this. A lot of people say it sounds like garbage and the production is terrible, both on Morbid Visions and also on Bestial Devastation. Listen, it's not crisp high-end production for sure, but it's not garbage. It's not unlistenable. It's rough around the edges, but that just makes it kind of authentic. So I quite like this. I think it's good. Both this one and Bestial Devastation have been re-recorded by the Cavalera brothers, and of course that sounds much better production-wise. But yeah, I like listening to this every now and then. So cool. More Sepultura because I accidentally grabbed this one as well, but why not? Because this is freaking awesome. Beneath the Remains by Sepultura. Uh, Massive increase in musicianship for sure. The style on here is more kind of Slayer inspired, thrash metal, but definitely they put their own spin on everything. This is a lot of people's favorite Sepultura album. My favorite is Arise, but this is a close second because, they're very close in style. So many awesome riffs on here, awesome drumming as well. And it's just great songs. And I really like Max's vocals on here too. The songs are fast, they're aggressive, awesome riffs, like I said, very well composed songs as well. They're kind of like interesting for the most part, and you can actually hear some of those hardcore punk elements that they would uh, kind of integrate into their sound much later on. There's some of that stuff on here already if you pay close attention. Just check out Inner Self, which is a fantastic song. I understand why a lot of people have that as their favorite song. So awesome, legendary thrash metal. And another legendary album, Sabotage, and this is Hall of the Mountain King. All songs on here are great, lots of awesome riffs. 24 hours ago, the opening track, it's just awesome and it sets the tone for the entire album. You got those awesome but kind of demented in a good way vocals. And just all the songs are great. Of course, you have Prelude to Madness and Hall of the Mountain King. They kind of go together, in my opinion, uh, which are just, you know, heavy metal masterpieces. Or those two together form a heavy metal masterpiece with great riffs and, amazing vocals and just well composed song as well. I quite like Strange Wings as well. It's a kind of a slower and softer song, but it's actually really good. So great, great, great album. Definitely worth checking out if you just like straight up heavy metal, and even if you like US power metal. Awesome album. Excellent stuff. So there you go. 5, kind of 6 albums. I like all of them, and they're all definitely worth checking out. Thanks for watching.